everybody, and big welcome to cEDH TV gameplay with another competitive match. Now in this match I'm playing my Pako and haldan Divergent transformation. The plan is to cast Divergent, get Leveler and pass Oracle into play and win in instant speed once that one spell resolves. With us also we have Def Magic, who has his own YouTube channel by the way, so if you're interested in more cEDH gameplay videos, I will leave a link to his channel in the description below of the video. He's bringing his Raffin Scheming Seer to the table, a typical Esper Doomsday build. Lauren is here with us playing his TNT Thrasios and Tymna Rassakef build. Very typical TNT, wanna get that fastest Oracle into play, wanna get that Rassakef reanimated into play, or basically just playing good stuff, TNT, card draw value, and the typical deal. The last player in the pod is Francis, who I don't have a deck list from, but he's also playing Raffin Scheming Seer. Now as usual, this entire battle is gonna be narrated from me, from my perspective, while you get to hear my thought process and see my hand throughout the entire match. And with that, let's start the match. So our opening hand contains one land, a Carpet of Flowers, that's great, but we don't have a Carpet turn 2, and we're going up against decks with a lot of multicolored lands, so there's a huge chance we're not gonna get any mana from that Carpet, so we're gonna mulligan. This hand looks great. Wait, this is a turn 1 Pako. We have Lotus Petal, Mana Vault, land, like turn 1 Pako, but we don't have a turn 2 haldan. We don't have a turn 3 haldan, but we're close at getting a turn 3 haldan. Whatever land we draw into can become blue. When we have Divergent in our hand, we have Restore. If we top deck a land here, that's great. And if we second turn top deck a land here, that's still great. So I'm gonna keep this. Turn 1 Pako is amazing. That's gonna pressure people a lot. And we're going up against some Oddnos decks, so we could literally just punch them out a bit. Francis draws a card for turn and plays a Mana Confluence and cast a fish. That's bad because we're gonna feed it a tiny bit here, but I guess we're swinging back at him in that case. I'm gonna draw a card for turn. I'm gonna play this Mountain. I'm gonna play this Lotus Petal. You can have a card draw, fish. I'm gonna tap 1 and cast a Mana Vault, and you can have another card draw, and I pass the turn. Turn goes to Def, who draws a card for turn, plays a Tundra and a Lotus Petal, giving another card for the fish. And then he casts a Draenei Magistrate. GG's. We do have a Submerge that we drew into, but we don't have any islands. Like if we top deck an island right now, I would be very happy. Lauren plays a Scrubland and a Mana Crypt, and a fish draws a card for turn. And an Esper Sentinel. Nice. I hope that other people want to get rid of that like Draenei Magistrate, but turn goes to Francis, who draws a card for turn. He plays a Marsh Flat and a Chromox, imprinting a Judge Familiar, so he taps for white and blue. An Esper Sentinel draws a card. He sacrificed the Marsh Flats and casts a Ranger Captain of Eos. He finds Scrubland with his Marsh Flats, and he finds a 6/6 flyer 1 mana Zero Ascendant with his Ranger Captain of Eos. And then he passes turn to me. I will untap and draw a card. We do have a solution. We could use Restore on a fetch land, for example that Marsh Flats over there, and then crack it and find a land. The problem is that the only fetch land that we can target with our Restore can't search for anything that we can find, because we're playing Tymna, we're not playing white or black, so sad. So pass turn! Def plays a Bloodstained Mire and fetch, and that's great because now we have a target for our Restore. We can return Bloodstained Mire to our play with Restore, and then use Bloodstained Mire to find, for example, Volcanic Island. Then we have an island, and we can remove the Draenei Magistrate, and then we can cast Pako. He finds Underground Sea. So we're getting a little bit delayed here, but we're still swimming back into the game here, I hope. And then Def passes the turn with 2 mana available for him, blue and blue. Lauren plays a Flooded Strand and he cracks it. Now we have another great target, so we can actually use our Restore now to find Tropical Island with a Flooded Strand instead, because then we have blue, green and red, all colors available in lands. He also finds an Underground Sea with that land. And then he casts Demonic Tutor, and then he plays a Bird of Paradise. He changed his mind and he found a Tropical Island instead of an Underground Sea. Turn goes to Francis, who draws a card and plays an Ottawara, Soaring City as a land, taps for blue. He attacks with his Ranger Captain of Eos for 3 damage at Lauren. And then he casts the big 6/6 Era Ascendant. Then he passed the turn. I will draw a card for turn. I'm gonna crack this Lotus Petal, tap this, and cast a Restore. I wanna return that Flooded Strand from Lauren's graveyard to my board state. I'm gonna crack the Flooded Strand immediately and search out a tropical island. Actually, one more thing. I wanted to use this snow-covered mountain to cast Rite of Flame, and then use one of the red mana to cast Restore, still floating a red mana. I have a blue island right now, and someone over there has a forest, so I wanna cast Submerge without paying any mana for it at all, returning Draenei Magistrate to the top of Death's library. Death responds by casting Consider! With the red mana floating and green here, 3 here, I would like to cast Pako! Woof! Big dog. I would like to go to combat. I'm gonna swing at... let's spread it out a bit. I'm gonna swing at Lauren here. A Pako attack trigger. I'll exile and a Windswept Heath and the 2 creatures, so it becomes a 5/5. And then I will pass the turn. Turn goes to Death, who draws a card for turn. He plays a Scalding Tarn and cracks a Scalding Tarn and goes to 38. So all that we need to do now is just get a land, and we can get Haldan into play, and then we can Divergent. Or we just need a creature. Like if we cast something and they Swan Song it, we have it pretty much. Death finds a Watery Grave. And then he casts with his 3 mana Raffin. And then he passes the turn to Lauren. Lauren plays a Flooded Musty Rainforest and cracks it. He finds an Underground Sea this time. And he plays a Legend Shredder. And then he passes the turn to Francis, who plays 3 mana for a Hushwing Glyph, so we don't have the win anymore. If we level and fast us, we're getting nothing. So we need to kill that too. Or we just need to kill Francis here. And we have the perfect tools for it. We have a big dog. Woof. He goes to combat. 6/6 is going at Lauren, and the 3/3 at me. Then he pays 2 mana to cast a Ghostly Pilferer, which is his first spell. A second spell would trigger Ledger Shredder, and a Doffy Voidwalker, anti-graveyard stuff. And now the Ledger Shredder triggers for Lauren, drawing a card, discarding a card. This discards a Force of Negation, and then he passes the turn. I'm gonna go to my turn, untap and draw a card. I wanna play a Wooded Foothills. I wanna crack the Wooded Foothills, finding a Taiga, casting Haldan. I wanna go to combat. Pako is attacking at Francis. Pako attack trigger. I exile a Force of Negation, a Mystical Tutor, a Deswan Canonist, and a Bloodstained Mire from Lauren. This means I exile 3 things, so it becomes an 8/8. He blocks with a Hushwing Glyph, and Hushwing Glyph dies. And I pass the turn here. So I kind of like my position. I have some cool interaction. I don't have a blue card in my hand, which would be great with the Force of Negation. I have a Pact of Negation that I can't use because I don't have the mana for it. On Death's turn, he attacks me with Raffin. He draws and discards a land, so Raffin hits me for 1. And then he overloads the dam. Bad. Or kind of good. Bad for me. We were so close at winning. Like, we would have tried to win on our next turn 100% here, with a Pact of Negation backup if that dam didn't happen. But on the other hand, it's good that the board state is like disappearing a bit here, I guess. Bird of Paradise is tapped for black mana. In response, Francis sacrifices his Range Captain of Eos, silencing the board state. And in response to that silence, Lauren casts Tainted Pact. He starts exiling things with his Tainted Pact. Lots of cool stuff is going away. Spellseeker disappears, Ristic Study disappears, Fisheries disappears, Haven disappears. I don't know, I kind of want, I guess he's looking for just something like a Phasas here. Auric Salvager is gone, Lines of Diamond is also gone. He looks pretty confident about what he's looking for, so I guess Lauren finds a win here. Yeah, he looks very confident about what he's looking for. He's definitely going for Phasas here, 100%. We're getting very low, like this entire deck is disappearing. He keeps digging, Pact is gone. He stops at the Pact of Negation with his Tainted Pact, ripping apart like a huge part of his deck. And because Death is silenced because of the Range Captain of Eos, he will pass the turn to Lauren, who draws a card. Now have a Pact of Negation in his hand from a Tainted Pact. And here is the Phasas Oracle. and Demonic Consultation. And he wins. Nice. And he has a Pact of Negation in his hand, if anything. GG's, match over. Fast as consoles, fast and furious.